This is task 1I, part 1. This is the final part of the database task, and yet it is also the easiest part. You don't need to have completed all of the aspects of the database task in order to create the menu. You could just have lots of blank forms, or even just one form that all the buttons are going to link to. It's just about creating an interface that can be used to open the different aspects of the database. But when it comes to showing the evidence, you've only got to show evidence that one of those buttons work, and that could even go to an empty form. So you can get marks of this task without having completed any of task 1. So we're going to create a form for this menu, and we're just going to go for a blank form. Now we need to apply house style. So the first thing that we're going to do with this form when we go into design view is apply the background style. So if we go to format and we'll select here, and we have to do this option again because if we haven't used access since the last time we were working on it, it will have lost our settings. So we want 238.250.180. Okay, the rest of the house style we can set up as we go along. We need to have a title. The question says that it's a menu, so shall we have a menu title? So if we go to the design tools and just a label called menu, and then you can set that up in the menu title style. We need to have some subheadings because it says we should have subheadings, and we should have some instructions and buttons. So we'll put some instructions in here, and they only need to be very simple, like click the button for the option you wish below. I think for the option you want to open below might be better wording, but it's up to you. You can just put whatever you like as long as it's sensible. And then we need some subtitles. We've got to think about, well, what aspects of the system have we got? We've got some aspects of the system that are to do with viewing data. We've got some aspects of the system that are to do with reports, so we could have subtitles for that. We've got some aspects of the system that are to do with entering data, and we've got some aspects of the system to do with updating data. Now, you don't have to use these subtitles, these are just the ones that I've chosen. And then we're going to need our buttons. Well, before we carry on, we can set the house style for this all in one go, so I might as well do that. So we'll go for our Times New Roman, 14 points, red and underlined. There we go, so at least we've got our subtitles and house style. So let's have a look at our first option. We'll go through our forms and our reports and our macros that might form part of this. So we've got our church details, one of the things that we did right at the beginning. So what we're going to do, go to our design tools, get a button, and we'll have a button here where we're going to be viewing the data for church details. And we're just going to get a form, open the form. The form will be called church details. Show all the records. We can't just leave it as open form, we've got to have separate things for everything, so we'll go for church details. Next, and we'll call that button church. And then we've got to go through doing that for all the other aspects. We're going to have camping details and booking details are also under view data. Adult campers is one of the reports, so let's have a look at that. So if we go for reports, and we'll open that up, so it'll be a report operation, preview report, and then we want adult campers. You could do it as print, I suppose, as well. But, we'll call it adult campers. Give it a sensible name, button, adult campers, that'll be it do. We've got the phone call reminders that's needed, that's another report. The reminder letter, so that's a report. Checking the premium pitches and finding out whether they are the whether the number of pitches left has gone low enough that the price needs to increase. That's about updating data, and that's actually going to be a macro. So let's go through that one. So we've got a button here, and we're looking at miscellaneous, run a macro. and we want the premium pitches macro, and this will be to update pitch prices. Next button, oops, update prices. And similarly, when it comes to the new booking, that's going to be about entering data, and that's going to be about opening the form for the new booking. It's not about running the process booking macro, because that's linked to a button on that form. Now what you'll be wanting to do is you'll be wanting to line up all of these buttons and arrange them, sort them out. You may want to decide on a size. For example, that might be your size to go for 4 of the little squares. And then when you want to actually line them up, what you can do is select multiple items at once. So let's select all of these, and we go to arrange, and then we can align them. Okay, so if we align them all on the left hand side, they're now aligned on the left. If I wanted to align these two, I could align them to the top. There you go. And we can sort everything out as we go along. We can make these centered by going to format and center, or you can have them left aligned. It's completely up to you how you want to do it. Once your menu is completed, you'll want to save it. You can see I've already saved mine, and then you'll want to test that it works. So we'll just open it, and we'll click on one of these buttons, and it's done its job. So now you'll need to annotate this for 1i part 3. You just got to annotate the church details button, and the next tutorial and final tutorial for task 1 will be 1i part 2, where you're going to look at making this an automated menu that opens up automatically when the software opens.